YouTube, what up? We have one more play for NFL Week 4. I know I said in my last video that was going to be our final play, but there was a line move that I was waiting for, and if it was going to happen, I was going to pull the trigger on it. So we have Raiders Moneyline plus 115. The Raiders are hosting the Cleveland Browns, and you guys should all know how I feel by now about the Browns. If this is your first time watching one of my videos, I think the Browns are one of the top 2 most fraudulent teams in the NFL, probably them and the Bears. The Browns are an absolute joke. I'll say it again. Big bully roster is what they're marketed as. What are they in reality? An average team with a shitty quarterback. This is what it is. Myles Garrett is cool, but he can only take you so far. And the Raiders, on the other hand, I said last week they were going to have a letdown game. It was a bad spot for them. They won their Super Bowl the previous week against the Ravens, so that was their Super Bowl. I had a feeling they were going to shit the bed after that high. Now they're back down to a low, and look, the Raiders, they're not the most talented team, so their good performances are going to come from highly motivational spots. So this is probably going to be one of those because they have a coach who doesn't fuck around, so he was probably, he's a player's coach, though. So after that big win, he was probably cool. Let the guys do their thing. I'm going to trust them to play well. After this week, you see him in the press conference saying, some guys out there made business decisions, so now we're going to make some business decisions. So, he's not fucking around this week. It's probably way different vibes than last week, where it's probably loosey-goosey, party vibes. This week, it's probably like, you motherfuckers were quitting out there against what was supposed to be the shittiest team in the league in the Panthers. And he's probably on their ass the whole week. Those dudes are probably just dialed in and going to give it, from a effort standpoint, I would expect a really high effort from the Raiders in this one. But aside from all that, my main thing I look at is quarterbacks. And Deshaun Watson is just dog shit. I say it every week. He's dog shit. You see the guy in press conferences. He gives horrible answers. He's tuned out. I don't know, man. I think Deshaun Watson is pretty close to never playing football again with how bad he's been. The only reason he's playing football is because the Browns have gotten stuck in this horrible contract, and they feel like they need to just stick with this guy who's supposed to give them some production, but he's not that guy anymore. I say it every week. He's not the guy from the Texans. He's Deshaun Watson on the Browns now, and he is shitty. One of the worst quarterbacks in the league, if not the worst. And, I think his track record this year has kind of confirmed that. On the Raiders side of the ball, Gardner Minshew, I'm not a big fan of him, but I do think he is slightly better than – that's how bad I think Deshaun Watson is. I think Minshew's slightly better than Deshaun Watson. So I feel like we're getting the slightly better out of the shitty quarterbacks, and the game is in Vegas, so I like that as well. And here's the thing with this game. So the line was initially Raiders -2. Now it's up to +2 as I make this video. +2 is usually a pointless number. We'll grab the money line if it's anything under 3. So we'll grab the money line. I like that. And, I was waiting for a pick'em to drop to get this game, but the injury news broke with here's the deal. Crosby and Davante Adams are out for the game. This bumped the line to Raiders +2 and put the money line at +115. So I had to jump on that number, and here's the thing. I know you guys are probably thinking, well, that's not smart. Crosby's out now. Davante Adams is out. Those are their best players. I hear you on the Crosby side. Crosby's a beast. He's the core of that defense. He's definitely the best player of that defense. He's the heartbeat. I get it. But I do think he will be on the sidelines fucking getting everybody just kind of like Antonio Pierce, just ripping into them, having them all fired up to go. I'm not saying they can replicate what he does. Skill and motivation are 2 very different things. But I think the market are overestimating the Davante Adams loss. I will not be surprised if the Raiders offense looks better without Davante Adams. Davante Adams is a shitbird. This guy, look, I'm not saying he's a bad human being. I don't know. But this guy is always throwing a fit during the games, it seems like. And I just think he's overrated, man. I think he always has this thing. It seems like he thinks he's the best receiver in the league. Other people always say he's the best. If you actually watch the games, he drops a lot of easy balls. And if I'm being really honest, Aaron Rodgers made him, okay? Look, he has some skills. There's no doubt about it. He can run some good routes. Aaron Rodgers put that ball in the perfect spot. Makes his life a lot easier. with mediocre quarterback play, he's not as much of a superstar. And I know it's less opportunities he'll get, but I just see too many plays that are makeable where he just doesn't make a play or drops the ball, or I'm like, this is not like the best receiver in the league. I just don't see it. Hey, watch Justin Jefferson play football. That's a fucking wide receiver. That's what an elite wide receiver looks like. Not Davante Adams. I'm kind of over this whole Davante Adams is still a great receiver thing. And I won't be surprised if, now granted, this is going to be at a way less impressive level because it's Gardner Minshew, but, look at Buffalo. Buffalo lost Stephon Diggs. They lost Gabe Davis. Everybody said how shitty Buffalo was going to be this year. Not that it'd be shitty, but how much tougher it'd be for the offense. The offense of Buffalo's never looked better. You think maybe that's because Josh Allen isn't having to force feed these diva wide receivers. I'm not talking about Davis, but Diggs. Not having to force feed these diva wide receivers that call for the ball every second and forcing throws that aren't there. Now Davante Adams isn't playing. Gardner Minshew is going to be able to use. He has two monster tight ends. I really like Jacoby Myers. I like Trey Tucker. I think he's going to be more free to throw the ball wherever he wants. And I will not be surprised if the offense looks better. I know the Max Crosby news sucks. Davante Adams news, I actually think there's a chance it's a positive. Who knows how it's going to play out? But I'm not like, oh, man, this really changes the line a ton. Davante Adams isn't playing. I don't give a fuck that he's not playing. So, Raiders, Moneyline, plus 115. Hey, if it's not broke, don't fix it. We love betting against Deshaun Watson. He will prove by the end of the year that he should not be playing football anymore. And we'll see how it plays out. Raiders, Moneyline, plus 115. 1 unit. A unit is 1% of your bankroll. As always, bet responsibly. Never bet more than you can afford to lose. Not financial advice. I am just documenting my picks for the public to see. So you can sit risk-free on the sideline and watch to see if they work out or if I fall on my face. Either way, we'll have fun watching. And that's it, boys. I think this will be the final pick video for the week. So recap video next week. We'll see how we do. Peace.